Okay, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today, first of all, we're having a little technical difficulty, but looks like we might have it almost all the way sorted out. But today we're going to be going over using Zillow's free services, what we can do without being Zillow Premier agents, which costs a lot of money. So we're going to get into this in a second here, but before we get into today's presentation, we're going to invite Debbie Sacconi from Clearview Mortgage on the line. Good morning, Debbie. How are you today?
I am, of course, fantastic. Lots of good stuff happening, lots of deals going in. I hope you guys are busy because I'll tell you what, I am slamming busy. There's people out there buying houses, and I can't tell you, how important it is to stay in the frame of mind of law of attraction and manifesting busyness into your brain because it's working for me. Anyway, something happened the other day, and I just want to give you an example. Sometimes, 30 years of experience that I have stories. I probably should write a book, but some of these examples might help you. Okay, they might be helpful to you. But I had John Espinoza give me a call. He's one of the Alta agents. Thank you, John. It was so wonderful talking to you. And he had a situation where he had a listing, and so he was representing the seller, and the home went into escrow, and all cash deal, perfect situation, 2-week close. But the seller it was a 1031 exchange issue. That means that it was an investment property and she has to purchase another investment property. And, or she's going to have to pay capital gains. So she didn't have that planned out just, exactly perfectly. So she applied for a loan in Arizona because she wanted to buy a property in Arizona. And they told her that she couldn't qualify. So this is also why, planning is just so important. So I, jumped in, talked to her. This is a piece of cake deal. I don't know why the loan officer or the company in Arizona couldn't think of how to put this deal together. But it's just another example of, we're a mortgage broker. Clearview Mortgage is a mortgage brokerage. We work with a lot of different lenders. We're all super experienced. And, another thing that's really different is, and maybe it's because that other loan officer really didn't, care so much about the urgency of how to put this together. Maybe they didn't have the product, the different loan programs. Maybe they just didn't have the experience. I don't know. But it was super easy to put together for this gal because she wanted to cancel her sale of her property. And so, of course, that would cause a lot of problems in a whole nother way. So, anyway, now it's fixed, and we're going to get her a loan in Arizona. And this is on the DSCR program. The DSCR program stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. And this is just, I'm going to give a quick little blurb about this program. This is a program specifically for investment properties. To purchase investment properties, typically minimum down, they allow 20% down or more, and it might even take more because of the interest rates, because here's how it really works. Okay, we figure, the interest rates are, of course, based on that client's credit score. And so we get an interest rate based on that and however much they're putting down. Here's the payment, the total principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on that property that they want to purchase. The DSCR program, all it requires, the buyer doesn't really even technically have to be employed because we don't put employment on the application at all. They don't have to be self-employed. They don't have to be anything. And thanks, John. And so this is an amazing program. I do a lot of loans like this because especially in a situation where somebody's selling an investment property, they really have to buy another investment property or they're going to pay capital gains. So 20% down or more. And here's the real kicker on this. As long as on the new property that they are purchasing, the estimated rental income, long-term or short-term, can cover the principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, then that's what qualifies that loan. So, we have to establish, are they in a vacation area where, Airbnb is really popular, it's allowed, and they can make a lot more money? And you ask yourself, well, how do they know how much that rental income is really going to be? When on the new property that they're purchasing, when the appraiser goes out to the property, he or she is going to figure out the estimated rental amount, depending on if we tell them we want long-term rent or we want short-term rent. And it does make a difference in the pricing of the loan also. So if the estimated, mind you, okay, estimated long-term rental income covers that principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and HOA dues, if that's applicable, as long as it covers that whole housing nut, okay, then that's what qualifies that loan. And credit scores could be as low as 620, but I'm telling you, the rates are not pretty if you have a credit score that low. And probably you'll have to put a little bit more than 20% down. But this program is a lifesaver program for people who don't have the income to qualify for the next property, for that investment property, but they have the down payment. I had one guy I did a loan for a couple of years ago, and it was $1 million property. He did this DSCR program, and he had told me, he goes, I don't think my tax returns are going to show enough income. I said, no problem. We got a solution for you. And so we closed the loan. Everything was great. And then the following year, he says, I'm going to buy another property. And I said, okay, well, do you want to use tax returns this time? Do you think, it's going to work? And he goes, I haven't filed for 3 years. And I was shocked because I didn't know this. So the first property he bought, he hadn't even filed tax returns. They don't, run the tax transcripts and all that on this program. It is almost one of those kind of programs that if you have a pulse, you're probably going to get a loan. So, it's not just to save deals, but we're here to make your life easier and also to get you more business. Because if John, let's say, hadn't called me and this lady had felt she had no other solutions, no other lenders that she could talk to, because this one said no. So that unfortunately makes people think they don't have any other avenue. So this is going to make more money and more relationships. And it's going to make you look good that you helped find a solution for them, because these days we're finding solutions. It's not always that easy. I do get a couple of, a few cookie cutter deals, but these days it takes solving problems. And but we want to be your everyday regular lender as well. And we can also help you with anything. And if somebody's even in foreclosure, I'm doing one of those too, a foreclosure bailout. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye because I think I talked too much, but please give me a call. I'd love to hear from you, and we're going to make it happen for you.
Heck yeah, Debbie. Love it. Yes, you are a problem solver. We appreciate you coming on the line.
All right. Have a wonderful week, you guys. Hey, this is a holiday. I didn't even know that. And I'm working.
I know it, huh? Happy Juneteenth, right?
Oh, and I work on weekends too. So call me. All right.
Yes,
Bye. Take
she
care.
does. All right. Thanks so much, Debbie.
Okay, bye.
Always appreciate her coming on the line, and you can reach her by going to her website, debbiedoesloans.com, or the phone number right here. And I always put Debbie's information in our replays, so look for it there. So now we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk about Zillow. So Zillow is, of course, the devil. It's one of those, monster behemoths that we kind of have to deal with. Many of our clients find the properties that they want to end up buying on Zillow. So, and then of course we have to do our job and try to get them to convert over to our MLS website systems, and make sure that they are, getting some direct information from our systems. But they all, they seem to all find them on Zillow and Redfin and all the other stuff. So let's back up a tiny bit. And last week we talked about Realtor SEO. So that's Realtor Search Engine Optimization. So there are two different facets to search engine optimization. There is on-page search engine optimization, and that means making your website very friendly towards certain search keywords, right? And then there is another facet of search engine optimization, which is known as off-page search engine optimization, or SEO. So the off-page stuff is making sure that we have our information on as many other ancillary sites, and I'm talking about business directories and social media sites, as possible. And all those things can point back to our business and our normal and our regular, main website, our CRM connected websites. So this is an example of what someone sees in the search engine results when they Google your name. So this is one of our agents, Charles Barnes. And so when you Google Charles Barnes' name, and this is typically what will happen if you get a referral or someone says, hey, you should probably use, my friend Charles is a great realtor. He helped us get a house. Yeah, that's typically how those things happen, is you'll get a referral, person will say, all right, well, let me Google and see what happens. So when you Google that name, and Charles has done a great job of taking advantage of all these little ancillary websites that allow us to have our free listing on, right? So this is really a great thing for everyone to do, is to Google your own name and figure out what comes up, because we want to control as much of this stuff as humanly possible. So Charles has done a great job. First of all, he has claimed his Google listing, which is what this looks like. He has claimed his Realtor.com free listing. He's claimed his Zillow listing. And he's also maximized this Zillow listing. And so we'll take a look at what that looks like. So, and then of course, all the other fun stuff down here. But all these things are really important, to take advantage of and to take control of. So Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, LinkedIn, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Experience.com. I don't even know what that is, but myhomehq.biz, all these different interesting things. Nextdoor is a great one to make sure you have your free listing on. So these are all off-page SEO. So the kind of the rule to remember there is make sure that you fill out your profile on all these different things. Also, if you just joined us, or if you joined a new brokerage, you want to make sure all these things reflect that change, and so everything is congruent when someone does a search for you. You don't want to have all kinds of weird old information all over the search results page when you Google yourself, right? So let's take a look at what Charles's Zillow profile. So this is what they call a Zillow agent profile. These are free to claim. You don't have to be a Zillow Premier agent. So Charles has done a great job of, first of all, claiming this, making sure that he's filled out every bit of this thing, the about me. He's got his listings and sales. He has all of his solds here. He has nothing for sale currently, but that would be right here. And, so he's got 33 solds in his profile here, which is really cool. He has reviews, another huge, huge step. So, our best practices for using our Zillow profile is, take advantage of, claiming the free profile. That's easy enough. But then make sure you fill out everything. And then you start using it to request reviews, right? So you can, once you have your, your Zillow profile, you can send a link to your clients and say, write a review. So literally you can click on this and, send them an easy way to write your review. Plus, they don't require that they have a profile or anything like that. Your client doesn't have to have a profile in order to write a review. And that's something a tiny bit different from the reviews that we find on Google. So Google, the person actually does have to have a Gmail. And so, which is not that big of a deal, most people do, but it's really easy to get someone to write a review on Zillow. And so again, he's done a great job. He's got 14 reviews, 14 5-star reviews on Zillow, which is huge. And so again, that shows up very prominently right here, also shows up very prominently right here. So when you see that, it stands out, and it's definitely something that your clients will see as well. And so, again, you have to take advantage, not take advantage, but take control and maximize this search results engine, page. So you want these 5 stars to be, in as many places as possible. And Facebook also does allow that too. So if he had Facebook reviews, that could also pop up here. But very, very cool and very powerful, right? So we've got all of our reviews, we've got all of our great information, service areas. And so he's done a really, really good job of just, making sure that every single bit of information that they ask for, you write something in. Okay. And the reason that we do that is because when you scratch their back, they scratch your back, and they will start to, put your information up higher in their results on Zillow. So that's a really, really powerful thing to do. So the next thing that you can do is you can, the first thing, of course, you're going to do is just, build that competitive profile. And I'll include, this is, directly from Zillow, but I'll include this link to show you, they have their, kind of list of things that you should do. Obviously, you want to add a headshot, you want to add, your advertising markets, reviews, professional bio. So, and then they have some really cool, best practices here. Invest in a professional headshot. Of course, we always want to have, very, very high resolution images that we use for everything. And so that definitely includes a headshot. We want high resolution professional headshots. Here's Charles looking very professional, which he is, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to manage our listings, and then we can communicate with our contacts. So this is a cool little link that I'll make sure that I include. The next thing is to make sure that we're putting our listings on Zillow. And so great thing about our, about Alta Realty Group is we syndicate our listings automatically from the MLS to Zillow, to Redfin, to many others. And so that's a step that you won't have to worry about, but it's a very, very good idea to, once it's automatically been posted, to go in there and augment that. And so this is a good step. And so I'm going to include this little link right here, which shows how you can, make sure that you're maximizing your listings as well. And so you always want to make sure that your listings are, not just there, but you want to make sure that, again, you have all the bits of information that are there. And sometimes, not everything gets filled out and syndicated directly from the MLS. So we want to make sure that we take a look at that and we add, I know for a fact that it won't syndicate videos. And so a really great Zillow kind of free tool is the Zillow video tours. So if you can upload a Zillow video tour into your listing, studies show that they will bump your listing above others because they want to pump their stuff. So that's, those are the biggest ways for you to kind of maximize using Zillow for free. Again, you can become a Zillow Premier agent, and depending on your area, that'll cost you a couple grand, especially in Southern California. If you live in Utah, you could probably get away with, $500-600. But in our areas, most of our areas, it's definitely several $1,000s. And for that, you probably won't even get that many, viable leads. So if you have the money, the leads are good. Zillow does have good leads. People do look for homes on Zillow, unfortunately for us. But so you certainly, we just want to make sure that you can't beat them, join them, maximize what we can do with Zillow. That way we get more exposure for our listings. And so that's the kind of the theme of the webinar today. And it's the moral of the story. So you guys can ask me questions. There's also other things like Zillow has a showcase listing where you can pay a couple $100 and they boost your listings. They kind of have some augmented fancy stuff, and they make those listings stand out. So that's also another opportunity within Zillow, but that costs money as well. So I hope this webinar has been informative, and I hope everybody does make sure that you're taking advantage of maximizing what we can do on Zillow. Like I said, they're the beast, but we have to, utilize their network because there's people there and we can be found there, and, we can make sure that our listings are, getting some good exposure there. So agents, with that, make it a great week and a productive week, and get out there and make a couple sales and make some combination, some conversations. One thing that we always talk about is it takes about 50 to 75 conversations to lead to some kind of a deal. So get ahead of the curve, start making those conversations, get out there, talk to people. That's what Debbie does. So stay positive, and we will see you guys next week on the Wednesday webinar. Bye-bye.